should he have received the VA treatment that he deserved, that he was entitled to, he would still be alive here with us. But due to the lack of medical care for him, he perished here in Mexico, as have other 5 of our deported veterans also. It's very sad that, of course, this has occurred. 5 heroes that should be alive today, they should be here with us. Actually, they should be in the U.S. with their families, but at least they should have been here with us. Was anybody else with you? Alex? No? Okay, great. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to welcome you here to Tijuana, to welcome you to Unified U.S. Deported Veterans Resource Center, to Sergeant Barrios VFP Chapter 182, Baja Chapter.
All right.
Yes. All right.
Yeah. And we want to thank you for your support. If it wasn't for VFP, VFP San Diego, our office would not be able to exist. Thanks to your support, we're able to have our doors open in a very strategic location right by the U.S.-Mexico border. Not only is it the border, but it's also the deportation center where people get deported through. So the strategic reason for that office is because we want to be the first point of contact to intercept our veterans when they become deported, when they come deported and come through that gate. So to us, it's very important that we contact that deported veteran immediately and be able to offer them the assistance to help them integrate as a productive member in our community in the search for that legal avenue to be able to return home legally one day. Before I go any further, again, we want to welcome you, but we have some of the guys here present with us. We'd like to introduce them to you all, but before we do that, Michael, if you would like to say a few words and maybe introduce our guest.
You always got to be ready, Michael.
Yeah. See. Yeah. Sure. So, since you put me on the spot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Be ready. Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank you all for the food. Everyone has cooked it, and our host, because this is just such a great layout, and I know everybody was hungry, right? And so it's always good to have some good food. So thank you for that. I don't even know what to really say, because first of all, just the issue is so absurd.
Yes.
It shouldn't even. We shouldn't even have to be here for this. No one should be treated this way. But as our nation claims to care about veterans, and thank you for your service and all that. And this is what happens to you, even though you serve, so to speak. So I think the work you all are doing is amazing, and obviously it's needed. And I want to praise really the people who helped make this happen, like George Johnson and Willie Hager, Jan Ruman. Where's Maurice? Right here.
Maurice.
Yes, Maurice Martin. I'm just glad this intersection's here. So we'll keep on doing what we can. So, what's next?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right here.
There you go.
Mr. Gary Lawson. Thank you. So if any of you Army guys taste the food a little weird, it's because the Navy guy cooked it.
That's not
So,
true.
but the beef was cooked by the Army guys, so if it was. I'd like to take a quick second and welcome you to Gary Mar. My wife's not with me this week, with us this week, because she's dealing with a death in her school. We're a third grader in her classroom area, so she's handling that this weekend, and she sends her regards. It is my wife that got this built. She had the vision to build Central Garrymar as a community center. I was building a house. Okay. So I give her total credit for her vision to know that there was a place that we needed to host people like you. We do you tour groups where we bring people down, groups down for 4 days, and show them effects of immigration issues have on this side of the border. That are made with decisions on that side of the border. And we also do an Airbnb that helps support, Airbnb and that's out, that helps support our efforts in supporting the deported veterans, the deported moms is our two main groups that we work with. We have a big problem with American children coming down here to be educated in Mexico, because they don't get the proper education once they come down with mom and dad, unless they're on a bus at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and going back to the United States every day to go to school. Henry saw it the other day. There was a lady that came into the Deported Veterans office with Mary Cookie, which is a big ally for all of us, from the Madres. Always give it up for deported veterans or deported moms. And she's just got deported two or 3 days ago. Probably a sophomore, junior in high school daughter and a little 8 or 9 year old daughter. They both will be going to school in the U.S. every morning to continue their education. They're going to walk across by themselves and come back. And that to me is a huge problem.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that these are deported moms and their kids were born in the U.S.?
Yeah,
So the kids are U.S. citizens.
Yes, sir.
All over Mexico.
And then, okay.
All over the border region.
And
I just
I'll
want.
I'm glad to talk to you a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, our vision was to try to support and help the deportees, and that's what we do. And we appreciate hosting you, and we enjoy taking care of these guys. In all actuality, that man right there and Maurice introduced me to the fact that we had deported veterans about 7 years ago. And I'm a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer, and this Chief Petty Officer thinks that's wrong.
That's right.
And so that's the bottom line. So enough on that. Let me talk a couple seconds about the house. Okay. Unfortunately, as hard as I tried, I did not get American plumbing in my home. So please do not flush toilet paper down the toilet. Put it in the trash cans. If it accidentally goes in, you don't have to fish it out. But it's not that big a deal. Have a great time. There's some. I've got a pretty large facility, as you always have seen. I'm sure most of you floated around. If you have any questions, come up and ask me. When you leave, I do ask that you strip your bed. You can just leave it at the foot of the bed, but please take the sheets and stuff off the bed, so it makes it a little bit easier for us to do it and grab it and get started cleaning. So in case I have a group this weekend, I'm ready to go. So I'm going to turn it around for the possibility we're renting to Airbnb this week. So
Okay.
probably won't, but I would.
You want to be ready.
I want to be ready.
But just in case you leave something on the bed, something fell out your pocket or something, when you strip it, you'll find it.
So I'm not going to be here. I'm heading out tonight. Hopefully we'll come and enjoy the Army cooks hamburgers and hot dogs tomorrow. Last time he did hamburgers and hot dogs, the fire department came. So be aware. This is my brother, by the way. We have a great time giving each other a hard time, but we love each other, and I appreciate everything he's doing for the deported veterans on this side, and he does a great job. So does Robert Bavar and all the guys.
That's good.
Hey, I got one question. I found out this morning about the shower up here.
hot, you turn to the right. What about the one downstairs?
Whichever direction gets hot water.
Try one,
Did you hear my statement?
Which one? You didn't
I
get
try
American
my
Plumbing?
best to get
I did. I
American
thought maybe you
plumbing.
knew, though.
And American plumbing and American electricity, and I didn't. It wasn't the very successful process. We built this house 4 or 5 years ago. It was my wife's vision, about 4 years ago. So,
But there is something very fortunate about being here this particular weekend. The water is on.
yeah.
Because in Mexico, they don't send you a notice. They shut it down 2, 3, 4, 5 days, commercial, residential, don't matter. If you had a restaurant and needed water, you're out buying water.
And when it comes on, it comes on.
I do have about a 600-gallon tank for backup, but
yeah.
the size of the group, you guys will go through that in about.
Right.
Like that.
I have
So-
a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you introduce us to the gals who have been supporting this operation?
Oh, gosh, yes,
Absolutely.
I only see one gal right now.
The other gal is not back.
Where are you hiding, Peggy?
She's right there.
So Peggy walked down here today. She had no idea she was getting volunteered to help today, but she just jumped right in and volunteered herself. And then you're gonna have to help me with your wife's name.
Blanca.
Blanca is Robert's wife, and she's a outstanding support to this man who has helped a lot of veterans get benefits and get on the line to get in line to get some benefits for even though we're down here. And Robert's got that down pat, and he does a great job. Lupita, has she left already?
She had to go
Yeah,
across.
she has to go across.
So Lupita is Hector's wife, and she keeps him straight wherever he went. Okay, and that's a task.
She runs the office.
That's a task within itself that she should get paid about $1 million for. But right? Just say yes. So,
Well,
and
I want to
then,
say a big thanks to the gals.
Yeah.
Besides Blanca being a great supporter and my girlfriend, my wife, my better half, she's also a Marine mom.
Yes.
Marine
And Robert is a Blue Star father from an active duty military kid.
she's a Marine mom with her son done 2 tours of duty, one in Iraq, one in Afghanistan, and he's got a Purple Heart.
Tell him we said keep his head down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's still in?
My son is, her son is
He's
retired.
out now.
Oh, that's good.
He's here in San Diego.
and I have a son that is currently equipment operator and serving the President of the United States at Camp David.
Oh, wow.
Just a couple of things, because I know everybody's tired and we probably want to continue to mingle and such. Very thankful to Gary and Mark. I've known Gary and Mark for quite a few years also. And they're a great support group for not just deported veterans, but anybody that is living the nightmare of family separation due to these unjust immigration laws.
Yeah.
Again, not only deported veterans, deported families, moms, I mean, they're tremendous help. Right now, we have established contact with the League of Women's Voters here in San Diego. And I believe Blanca and Lupita and one of our other members who's not here today with us, she's not deported, but she's a combat medic vet also. She's living here in Mexico because, in part because of, she can't afford to live in the U.S. And because she deals better with her PTSD from down here. But where I was going to is that thanks to Gary's wife that had put, I believe, Jan Ruman in touch with the League of Women's Voters, we were able to make that connection with the League of Women's Voters. And they're going to be joining League of Women's Voters, which has some tremendous support for our deported community. They've taken on the task of the issue of deported veterans. And of course, we all know League of Women's Voters. They're all over the U.S. It's a very strong group. It's going to be great support from them. And you know, if it wouldn't have been for Gary and Mark, that's another contact that we probably would not have come across. So we're very thankful for that.
One of the things I'm excited about with the League of Women Voters is that Blanca and Lupita attended their last month's meeting on Thursday, and they're going to represent the Deported Veterans in the League of Women Voters Committee of Immigration and Deportation in San Diego, which is visiting Congress people and trying to help at the national and at the state level get the League of Women Voters to embrace the issue nationally. It's a 2 or 3 year uphill battle, kind of like going through VFP to get things done. But nonetheless, one day it will happen.
I want to take a couple minutes, if you don't mind, to introduce a couple of our deported veterans who are joining us today. Tomorrow we're going to have a few more of them that will be here present. Ruben,
Excuse me.
you want to introduce yourself to your...
You'll be right back. Speaking of Ruben.
You're lucky I didn't go.
Speaking of Ruben's been helping me get prepared, the house and stuff this past week to get it ready for you guys to come and enjoy this. Ruben is an awesome man that supports us all the time, and we support him, and he gets involved and he helps to stay on course in his life. He helps a lot of people and does a lot of things, and if you need any neat little things sewed, and he makes the bracelets, and he does a lot of things to survive down here, and he's an awesome help and an awesome person.
And a gentle soul.
And so,
Hey, stand up.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. I don't have to say anything.
You're on the spot.
My name is Ruben. I've been deported for 20 years as of last April. And I'm a draft dodger. Twice I got deported. My number kept getting pulled back by the help of some relatives from the... but anyway, later on I got the real bad guilty feeling, and I volunteered. And when I got up in the camp, I argued with the guy that tells you your destination, because I signed up for Vietnam for 4 years. I got sent to Europe, so I'm a Vietnam era veteran and a Cold War veteran. And I didn't learn about the Cold War veteran until a few years ago. All I knew is I was guarding missile sites, and I got to work in I had a top security clearance for a good while, because I was a photographer, recon driver. I drove all over Europe. Besides getting to see a lot of Europe from the back of a 5-ton, I drove all over
Yeah.
also. I got in trouble, I got deported, and I've been here since 1998. And I thank everybody that's had something to do with trying to keep me from going nuts. So, thank you, excuse me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben.
And this is Ruben's good buddy, Sissy.
She's the deported veteran therapy dog.
Alex, you want to come up here and meet our brothers and sisters?
This is our youngest deported veteran that we have in the group.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex Murillo. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I've been deported now since 2012, so about 6 years now. I've got all my family that are back home in the States. I really don't have any family in Mexico anymore. All my family immigrated from Mexico to the States, so I'm like the last one that was born in Mexico. And so really, my family is the guys, the rest of the deported veterans and the group. That's what we do is we hang on to each other for support, and we try to help each other out. We try to push our cause forward into the light, and thankfully, some people are paying attention now, and we appreciate, folks like you guys coming down with Jan, known him for a couple of years now. Since I know him, he's been so on for getting us back home. Ever since I heard about Veterans for Peace, I know that they've been backing us up, so we really appreciate that. Basically, our fight is just a simple one, is that we're U.S. veterans, we're U.S. soldiers, and we deserve to be back home. I mean, that's it. It's very simple to us. And we feel that it's a just cause, and anybody that finds out about it should be angry. I mean, because as veterans, we know what the deal is as veterans. You know, it's the hurry up and wait while we're in there, and then after we get out, they kick us around for the benefits, and then we got homeless veterans. But now on top of that, now they're deporting us. I mean, come on, it's a black eye on America, and I mean it's something that we feel that we need to be rectified. We feel that it is we're in the right. It's a just cause, and anybody that's American, anybody that's a veteran, should be behind us, trying to bring us home.
And it doesn't just catch you up, it catches your whole family.
Oh yeah,
Your
yeah.
children.
Each one of us. I've got 4 kids waiting for me. I've got 4 kids. I got in trouble. I got in trouble for marijuana. I did my time, and my kids are waiting for me. I did 37 months in the federal system. It's not a secret that veterans get in trouble after we get out of the service. We get in trouble.
right.
But the difference is that another veteran, they get in trouble, they do their time, they go home. We as veterans do our time, we never get back home. You know, we get exiled. And it's not right.
Yeah.
My kids were waiting for me, they're still waiting for me. Each one of us has a horror story about how our family's broken up. Wow. 21, 18. My boys are 21 and 18. My daughters are 15 and 11. And my boys just made me a grandpa. Like within the last 6 months, they made me a grandpa.
Congratulations.
And it's a trip. You know, I've never held my grandkids. I'm still here in Mexico. I know that I don't belong here. I know I should be back home, but it's a fight that we're in right now. You know, and this is. Like I said, I mentioned the other day to some of the guys, this is part of American history right here. This is the part where America kicked out its veterans. There was also going to be a part in American history where America brings back the veterans and supporters. So we're in the battle right now, and you know, we're all part of this part of history. But we do feel that we are going to get back home. Eventually, I mean, it's inevitable. We got to come back home, dead or alive. You know, when we die, they give us our military arms and they bury us in the military cemetery. So the outcome is inevitable. It's just are they going to let us back? You know what I mean? So we can enjoy some time with our family, like rightfully should, or is it going to keep being us? You know, and it shouldn't be like that. So, but thank you, folks. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate you backing us up and standing beside us in this fight, in this battle. And we know that we have a just cause. We know that we are heading back home, step by step, 1 by 1 or 2 by 2. We know that we are going to get back home. So thank you guys.
Thank you for sharing. Yes.
You know, that's one of the things that
Oh, yeah.
why Vets for Peace is, to us is very significant. Because part of what Vets for Peace does is expose the true cost of war. Not only monetary, but to the human life. To the human being, to the families. And Alex is one of those tragedies. Because when you take a person and because of what he experiences during the course of his service to the United States, he becomes injured. And due to that injury, gets addicted to painkillers. And when he leaves the service, he ends up getting in trouble. When he went in, he was a kid. He was naive. This is what they turned him into. And now they want to avoid the responsibility of those actions without giving him the proper attention, the proper medical care to reintegrate into his community as a productive member of society. And this is very true for not only Alex, but for many of our veterans. How do you expect a veteran to go into battle, to go into combat, to see his buddy cut in half, to take somebody's life, and come back to your home and integrate into your community as a productive member without any consequences? That's why Vets for Peace, because of everything it stands for, is very important to us. These are issues that need to be brought up. These are issues that need to be corrected. The United States cannot continue to destroy lives without any responsibility. They have to be made responsible for their actions to our men and women. Some of the things that we've accomplished here at Unified U.S. Deported Veterans is set up a structure, as I was mentioning earlier, so that when our deported veterans have an opportunity, somebody that cares to help them through this process. We passed around a little sheet with some of the things that we do, which are very important to us. An intake form, determine the needs of our deported veteran. Medical needs, psychological needs, therapy needs, for drug addiction, for whatever the case may be. Assistance with obtaining all of their documentation. You get deported with the shirt off your back. Nothing else. No money, no nothing.
No documentation.
No documentation. Even if you have the best desire to immediately, once you cross that border to work, you can't do it. Because you left when you were a kid. More than likely you don't have your birth certificate with you, let alone your voter ID, which you need in Mexico in order to be gainfully employed or really do anything. So that's some of the things that we immediately assist our veterans with.
Excuse me, all you get is a piece of paper that says you're
That
deported.
you're deported.
That's why.
Exactly. But that's not an official
And that's
document.
if they don't whoop your ass because you don't want to go.
Yeah.
And even that particular document they give you, the police department does not consider it an official document. So if you look like you don't belong out here, and you're wearing, for example, your gray sweats, which is what you are deported with if you're in state prison, or a paper suit. Well, paper suit, they allow you to turn it into your sweats. They'll take that paper and rip it up, and now you don't have any documentation, period. Not even that piece of paper that says that you're a Mexican citizen deported. So it's very important that we immediately jump and get on the ball and get the documentation put together. Shelter. We of course don't have a shelter, but we do have great contacts with different shelters here in town that are safe houses. They're clean. They're a place where they'll be safe. In the meantime, until they can obtain a job and be productive members in their community, which is part of also what we do, is assist them in integrating them into the job market, helping them fill out their documentation, for example, for job interviews, work applications, prepare them to get them set up into the job market. And we also have, let's say, not a formal job bank, but for example, Alex works at a call center. I work at a call center also. We've located several call centers where we've established programs with them, where they'll go ahead and hire our deported veterans. So we do have that opportunity to be able to gainfully employ them.
How often does it come up that they don't speak Spanish? And what can you do in that situation?
It does come very often. As a matter of fact, one of our last deported veterans, who's not here tonight, going to join us tomorrow. He was taken to the U.S. at 6 months old. Lived in the U.S. ever since. Never came back to Mexico. He got deported.
He got drafted first.
He got drafted.
It's 1970.
Right. He gets deported, and he speaks very little bit of Spanish. Like he states, when he was coming across the border, when the last contact with Border Patrol, as he was being escorted into Mexico, He tells the officer, but I don't even know the language. It's like, that's your problem. But I don't have any money. That's your second problem.
But do you have places you can refer them to help them learn, or if they have a class or something?
We do, but the nice thing about our veterans when they do come in that kind of a situation is that we have that path to employment through the call centers. The call centers out here all have campaigns, and their campaigns are campaigns from the U.S.
Okay.
So the Spanish language, you're gonna need very little of it.
Okay.
Just maybe fill out your work application, and that, of course, we will definitely assist them with it and prepare them for that job interview so they can ace it. But the campaigns, they're U.S. campaigns. I worked, for example, for ABG, Customer Service. That's the Avis Budget Group. So you rent an automobile and you have trouble with the automobile, and you call customer service. I might be the person that you're gonna